D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So, just watched The Mandalorian episode 3, and I have to say, and this might be a little harsh, but most of the episode was kind of boring. They did this thing where they did this side character who was in the show for like a hot second before in other episodes from past seasons. But then in this one, I'm just like, I don't know why we're coming back to this dude. I mean, maybe it's just the, wrapping things up of, liabilities kind of thing. But I'm just like, you had to spend a whole episode on this. And although I do like the actor that played the scientist, I don't know his name. And then also, but the stuff with the Din Djarin and Katan was pretty good. I mean, it's mostly just the first like 9 minutes was really good because there was like a spaceship battle. I'm all about that. But I did kind of like it when they went back to the Mandalorians, which we're gonna get to in the breakdown. But yeah, so this episode, I don't know, it was filler. But just because, I mean, the scientist thing, maybe something's going to come of it. But I don't know what could possibly come of it. But it doesn't even matter because, yeah, I just don't care about that scientist and what's going on with him. I'm sorry. Harsh, I know. But, it's a harsh world. But yeah, all right. That's all I got to say about this. We'll see what happens next episode and all that stuff. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially with the Mandalorians. Like, don't get me wrong. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I like the Mandalorian outfit, but I don't understand this whole don't take your helmet off thing. I really don't. I mean, it doesn't I don't hate it, but at the same time, I'm just like, and I do get it because Bo-Katan, is regaining her faith and everything. So, and I mean, and a small piece of me is like, I'm proud of the Mandalorians' convictions, because they're able to, have this religion, and yet they're able to stick to it. And I think that means something. They're able to stand for something and they keep to it. But, I like seeing people's faces, but at the same time, also I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's get to this breakdown. And then I'll just discuss while we talk about this stuff. But before I get started on that, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just keep getting pushed to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get started on this breakdown. So it starts off where we were back at the Mines of Moria. And okay, so Bo-Katan just pulled Din Djarin out of the living waters, which went so deep. I said it last time, but it's like he just jumped and then he just plummeted right down to the bottom of the freaking ocean. And then she saw that mythosaur. And I think all this stuff is just really pulling her back to the faith, if you will. And I think that'll be good because a small piece of me does think that she will end up with the dark saber at the end of this and will lead the Mandalorian people back to greatness. So anyway, so she's sitting here and she's just looking to the water. She's like, I saw a dragon. I saw a mythosaur. I saw it. I know I saw it. And Din Djarin comes to, and he's like, and he's like, did we do it? She's like, you did, and I witnessed. She asks him if he saw anything down there. She's like, did you see anything living? And he's like, no. Why? And she's all like, oh, nothing. Just asking for a friend. And he's all like, she's like, you bathed in the living waters. And he takes a sample of the water back with, for proof. And then they lift off and everything. I do like the Mandalorian ships. They're not my favorite, but I do like them. So they take off and they're flying and everything. And she's all like, I can't remember what he says here. But they start getting fired upon by TIE interceptors, and I like TIE fighters. I like the Empire's design of their ships and everything. I like the TIE fighters. I like the TIE interceptors. I like the TIE bombers. I like them again, and I like the Star Destroyers and everything. Again, not my favorite ships, but I do like them, and just their design and everything. Okay, so then moving on. So they get attacked, right? And this part was very good. This whole ship battle and everything. I liked it. She's like, take out the gunners, take him out with the gun from the back, and he's firing them on him and everything. And she's like, our shields aren't gonna hold or whatever. We're really low. So they get down to back to that moon or whatever that she was on with her castle. And so they're flying, and she's like, I'm not gonna be able to slow down. And he's like, because I'll get to my ship and I'll back you up, yo. And she's like, I'm not gonna be able to slow down. You're just gonna have to jump and take a jetpack kind of thing. And so he she's like, get ready to go, dude. So they get close, and he, of course, jumps out and then jetpacks all the way down. Which this part was very cool. No, he doesn't jetpack the whole way down, but he just like full free falls, and then he jetpacks at the last minute, which was very cool. He's like, hold on, let's see if we can play that real quick. So he's like falling, he's like, ah, crap, and then he's like, bam, and then he stops it, and boom, he lands. And then this TIE interceptor is coming in fast, so he jumps in, and it misses him, and he flies straight up. And of course, the TIE interceptor follows like a big idiot, and then he drops. He just drops, and then he comes back down, and bam, bye, bitch, and destroys it. So then Bo-Katan, she's flying through these mountain ranges and everything. And she's like, do not worry, because the R2D2, the R2 unit is like, and she's like, do not worry, I've flown these caverns as a child. And she nicks the side. She's like, all right, it's been a while. But she's doing a good job. She's rocking it out and everything. And then Din Djarin comes in, and he's just blasting them and everything. So they blast him together, and like, one down, one to go. And then she flips she lifts a wing and flips her ship around, doing a 180, and boom, and they take out that last TIE interceptor. But then they see something off in the distance where the game's striking on. He's like, what's that in the distance? He's like, I'm getting a reading. And they see this smoke right here. She's like, no. And it's TIE bombers, and they're bombing her castle. And it's like, no, not again. And she is pissed. They torched her house, man. That was, I mean, like, listen, I don't really like the architecture here, but at the same time, I go, you just bombed her home, dog. So then she is pissed. So she's like, I'm getting these guys. So she fires at one of them and destroys it. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of them are coming out of the woodwork, right? And he's all like, we need to get out of here. And they're like all this for an Imperial warlord, because she mentions that the Empire, Imperial warlords or whatever, like that guy from the pilot. I don't remember his name. And so they're like, we gotta get out of here. And he's like, I'm gonna give you coordinates. You just follow my lead. And then they blast off. So then we come back to Coruscant. Now, I have to just say right now, I love Coruscant. It's not my favorite planet in the Star Wars universe, but it's probably my second favorite planet in the Star Wars universe. My favorite is Naboo. I just like the look of it. I love the cities and everything. And yeah, but I do love this Coruscant. I really do. And so we go through here, and we go to this opera house. And you remember the opera house from episode 3, I would believe it was, where they had the Mon Calamari opera, which we really didn't get to see and everything, but you got to see in the background. It was like them floating around with like a ribbon and shit. But they're here, and that scientist dude, this person who is an Imperial. They used to work for the Empire, and now they're given, they're not held accountable for their actions. And he's giving a speech about how he was, worked for the Empire, and he's grateful that they're able to forgive him for the sins that he's done in the Empire, but he was misled. And this sounds an awful lot like after World War II. Kind of thing, but at the same time, you're all like, well, is he really, or was he just doing it? And now he just wants to save his neck, kind of thing. This guy, I do believe him when he says he wasn't serious. And then she's a little harlot, a little devil's harlot. So she sits down and she's watching his speech and everything. And then afterwards, he talks about cloning and everything, and how they clone stuff, and how his work, and he's sitting here talking to these people, and they're all like, oh, you're doing so good. And he's like, and this guy's like, oh, I was almost drafted. Can you see me on the front lines? And I was like, no, I'm surprised that you pull off that hat so well. Anyway, so they're all like congratulating him on being able to come out of this whole thing. So then he gets in his cab and he's flying away, and this robot gives him some ideas of places to go that he can visit and everything. So he returns back to his home, where he meets some other people that used to work in the Empire, and they're free. They're able to live in the city and be like, productive citizens of society kind of thing. I can't remember what they're called, and I apologize for that. Don't get all upset in the comment section, okay? It's not worth it. So he invites him back, and he's sitting here and they're talking. And there's this woman, which he shouldn't trust her, but he does because he's stupid. So they're sitting here, and one thing they're like, what's one thing that you miss? And he mentions these little yellow biscuits and everything. And he's like, this one's all like, if I never see a ration again, I'll be a happy man. And I'm all like, yeah, good for you. So then, so then he gets a ring at the door, and he finds this box where it's got those little yellow biscuits. And so then he's at his work. Oh, there's a Twi'lek. Yeah, she's cute. The Twi'leks are my favorite. So then he's sitting here. He's getting these things to archive, or they're going to dump them or whatnot, and everything. So then he's just doing menial work. And then this one, she takes him sightseeing or whatnot. And they're seeing all this different stuff. And they're checking out these shops or eating, glow in the dark popsicles. And she says right here about this mountain. This right here is a mountain. Is the highest. It's the top of a mountain, and it's the highest point of the planet. It's the only part of the planet that isn't covered up by city. Now, I just want to say, in Shadows of the Empire, which in Shadows of the Empire, Prince Shizor has an apartment where he can see. Oh no, he's eating at a restaurant where you can see the mountain, and I thought it would be bigger than this. This is not very big. I thought it would be bigger, but it's not. But it's like, hey, whatever, it's fine. So then he comes over here, and he's like, are you allowed to touch it? And she's like, yeah. She's like, live a little, man. So he goes to touch it, and then this robot comes back, and he's like, please do not touch it. And he's all like, you knew that would happen. She's like, I got you. I'll buy you another icicle. Sickle. He's like, please, no littering. And he comes back here to do this interview, and this robot's all like, have you ever had thoughts of anger towards any of your coworkers? And he's like, no. How about any towards the New Republic? Oh, excuse me, sorry. And he's like, no. And like, have you ever, I can't remember what else he said, what the robot said, but he passed with flying colors. So then she's sitting here, and she's talking to him about his work in cloning. And she's all like, do you ever, want to start it back up? And he's like, yeah, but I could never do that and everything. And she's all like, but it would be helping the Republic. And that's all what you're all about, my dude. All of this, I just want to say, all of this is entrapment. She is leading him on. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. So, but she's all like, what would you need? And he's like, a portable lab. And she's like, okay, we can get one, but we just have to leave our designated area. And he's like, no, I don't want to leave my designated area. I really like it here, and I like the fact that I'm not, I'm able to do whatever kind of thing. He's like, hey, we're going to destroy this stuff. Shouldn't we save it? And he's like, that's Empire technology. And he's like, yeah, but it's still useful technology. He's like, we're going to destroy it. And he's like, you'd have to put in a form, and I don't even know if you guys can do that kind of thing. So I would say, no, we're just going to destroy it. And he's like, okay. And he eats one of these little biscuits, and he goes back to this robot. And then he's like, can I ask a question? He's like, and the robot's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, am I allowed to continue my work? And they're like, no. And I believe he says, he's like, we're supposed to help the Empire, right? Do everything to help the Empire. And he's like, yes. He's like, all right, I want to go. She's like, all right, let's do this. So then they get ready. He's all, Blade Runner-y looking, like, hey. And she's like, don't look so conspicuous. Just keep walking, dude. It's not that big a deal. And they get on here, and she's like, and she says something like Trumbus Day. Am I right? And the alien's all like, yeah, I totally get Trump to stay. And so they're sitting here talking, and I can't remember what they talk about, but it doesn't matter. And so these robots come in, right? And they're looking for the tickets, please. And everybody's handing out their tickets. She's like, follow me. So they're running away and they're jumping from train to train until they finally get to the back. Okay. And they run out of train. She's like, we're going to jump. And she's like, do you trust me? And he's like, yeah. So they hold hands and then they finally just jump and they land and everything's A-okay. Hold on. Let me get there. A-okay. They're good. And so they come past the junkyard and they get to this junkyard and she's like, this is all Empire tech and it's going to be scrapped, but we can just go and check it out. And she's like, where do you think I got the biscuits? That's what they were talking about on the train. And so they come to this Star Destroyer, right? So she's all like, it's okay. Nobody's here to protect it because it's all being decommissioned, which I'm all like, why wouldn't you have people checking stuff out? Because you don't want people to just come in and take, stuff from this. But I'm like, whatever. It's a, big freaking planet. So they go into the lab and she's like, is this all you need? He's like, yeah. He's like, my mother was a doctor we're on our planet. And I always thought, if I could have a place just like this, I'd be able to do great things or whatnot. He's like, what did you want to be when you grow up? And she's like, I didn't have the luxury of thinking about that. So then they're sitting here and somebody's coming. So they run, right? And then they get caught. And he's like, scientist, whatever, put your hands. And she picks up the thing and she's like, and she leaves and he gets arrested. So then this guy comes in and he's all like, hey, listen, we're going to just treat you. All right. Everything's going to be okay. And he's like, this is a mind wipe or a mind flare. And he's like, you're going to erase my mind. And he's like, no, we find that at low dosage, it just helps treat you. And he's like, I don't want, he's like, she set me up. And she did. She set him up. He wasn't going to do this. And she put that in his mind. She put that thought in his head. And then she helped him execute it. If she wouldn't have put that thought in his head, that thought process in his head, he wouldn't have done all this. She got him the biscuits. She put the thought in his head about doing the cloning stuff still and keeping up with his work. She did all of that. He was onto the road to recovery and she messed that up, not the other way around. So she is the villain right here, but they think he's the villain. So they turn on a low dose, they put it on, and then he turns it on. He's like, you're doing good work here. For every one like you that's good, there's one that's bad, like him kind of thing. And it's totally opposite. She's totally a bad guy. I don't know why she's doing this. I think it's to cover tracks or whatever, but I still just go, I don't know why she's doing this. So then she's like, can I stay? Even though I care about him, even though, he's a bad guy. And he's like, absolutely. So then she turns it up all the, oh gosh. So he leaves and she just turns it up all the way and mind wipes him. Like he won't remember anything now. And then she eats a biscuit and then that's it. So we head back to Din Djarin and Katan. And they land on this little planet that the Mandalorians were on. And he's like, this is going to be a little group. Be respectful. Keep your helmet on. All this stuff. He's like, it's very secret. So this guy comes out. And this guy, I'll tell you right now, this guy just seems like a douche. I wonder who's under that. But they won't take off their helmets. But he just seems like a douche all the way around. But a douche that you want on your team, right? But he wants to lead the Mandalorians so bad. So they land, and he's all like, "You're Din Djarin, you're a prostate. You're a prostate. You're an outcast." And he's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I bathed in the living waters." And she's like, "He did. I witnessed it." And he's like, "Who are you?" And she's like, "I'm Katan of House Trees." And he's like, "You're also an outcast." And he's like, "I have proof." And he's like, "We shall see." So they go inside the cave. And he's all like, "I bathed in the living waters." And she's like, "Is this true?" He's like, "I have proof." And she's like, "I witnessed it." And she's like, "He fell in and I went after him." And he's like, "I have proof." And she gives him the water and she's all like, so she drops it in this little cauldron and it glows blue. And she's like, "These are the living waters." She's like, "You have bathed into the waters." He's like, "You are no longer an outcast." You are welcome back. And they're like, this is the way. And she's like, Bo-Katan, you also bathed in living waters. So by tradition, you are allowed to stay with us also. And she's like, I am not of this way. And she's like, have you taken off your helmet since you bathed in the waters? And she's like, no. And she's like, then you are allowed to stay here. You are allowed to leave whenever you want, but for now, you are a part of us. And they all congratulate her and I'm like, hey, welcome to the clan, except for the big guy, the douche guy. And she looks right here at this. Hold on, I passed it. Crap. 2 seconds, sorry. Hold on, let me play it. So then she looks at this thing right here because she saw that mythosaur. And this is where I was talking about how I think that she's the faithless and coming back to the faith. Like there's all these little miracles that she keeps seeing that bring her back to the faith. Like she sees that Din Djarin's his conviction towards the faith, and then she witnesses a miracle in the mythosaur because she don't know what she saw, and she's the only one that saw it. So as far as she's concerned, she was hallucinating, but that gives her faith. So she keeps thinking about this mythosaur, and then she they're all congratulating her, and you can tell through her body language that she's happy, and the way that she looks at them, that she's happy to be with her people again. And then that's where the episode ends. And I have lots of thoughts about this season, but I need to watch a couple more episodes to really solidify my thoughts on it, on what the theme of and what they're going for. But like I said before, this was a pretty good episode. It's probably not my favorite episode, except for the first 9 minutes. I mean, like the part with the doctor stuff was, I don't know, like okay, but I was like, I'd rather just like stick with Din Djarin and stuff. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, that's my breakdown of this episode. Yeah, I really don't have any much. I mean, I don't know where they could go with this. I have no idea what the goal of this season is. I mean, what's gonna happen now, But yeah, all right, you guys, tell me what you guys think about this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your favorite? It was that first like what is 8 minutes of the ship battle. It had to be. That was the coolest part. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought. Go ahead and leave. What do you guys think they're doing with why did that chick erase the mind of that doctor? I think it's just, covering up, bad deeds or whatever, maybe. But at the same time, I'm like, why is she doing this? Like, who is she that she needs to cover stuff up? All right, you guys, tell me what you guys think again. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on my next Mandalorian breakdown and review. You guys have a good week. This is the way. Bye.